Let me tell you about a Tuesday in May. It started like any other shift at the Fontainebleau. Dealers showed up, punched in, straightened their vests, got ready to work the floor of a $3.7 billion casino. Then the emails came. Mandatory meeting, table games department, report immediately. 60 dealers walked into that room. Not one of them walked out with a job. Security guards escorted them off the property, past the slot machines, past the empty blackjack tables they'd been dealing at for months, past the tourists who had no idea what was happening. Out the door, into the Las Vegas heat. Career's over. No warning, no negotiation, just gone. And Fontainebleau isn't alone. Let me walk you through the body count. March 26th, Resorts World announces it's terminating less than 50 full-time employees. That's the exact phrase they used, less than 50. April, MGM Resorts, the largest employer in the entire state of Nevada, eliminates concierge services at 6 of its 9 strip casinos. 34 positions wiped out. May 27th, the Fontainebleau massacre I just described. 60 dealers gone in an afternoon. August, Treasure Island quietly enacts its second round of layoffs that summer. September, the Venetian confirms it let go of less than 50 team members. Less than 50. Less than 50. Less than 50. You keep hearing that number. And if you're paying attention, you should be asking yourself one question. Why do casinos keep saying exactly that phrase? Here's the answer. And it's going to make you angry. There's a federal law called the WARN Act, Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act, passed in 1988 to protect workers from exactly what's happening right now. The law says this: if you're a large business and you want to lay off 50 or more employees at a single site within a 30-day period, you have to give those workers 60 days written notice, 60 days to find another job, 60 days to prepare, 60 days of dignity. If you don't comply, you're liable for back pay, civil penalties, real consequences. So what do casinos do? They lay off 49 people, then they wait, then they lay off 49 more. They're not breaking the law, they're dancing around it, structuring their layoffs to avoid the one protection workers actually have. Less than 50. That's not a number, that's a legal strategy. And those Fontainebleau dealers who got marched out by security, they got 2 weeks severance. That's it. Regardless of how long they'd worked there, regardless of their role, regardless of their seniority. 2 weeks. For some of them, that doesn't even cover a month's rent in Las Vegas. But here's what makes the Fontainebleau story even darker. This is a casino that cost $3.7 billion to build. Billion with a B. It opened in December 2023 after 16 years of delays. It was supposed to be the crown jewel of the North Strip. And according to sources familiar with internal financials, the resort was burning up to $400,000 per day in the early months after opening. $400,000 every single day gone. How does a brand new mega resort lose that kind of money? Walk through the Fontainebleau on a Tuesday afternoon. I'll tell you what you'll see. Empty gaming floors. Tourists posted pictures on social media. Row after row of blackjack tables with no one sitting at them. Roulette wheels spinning for nobody. Dealers standing around with nothing to do. One viral tweet showed nachos, 20 tortilla chips with salsa and guacamole, $26 plus tip. $26 for nachos? The casino wanted to be exclusive, premium, a playground for the ultra wealthy. But the ultra wealthy didn't show up, and the middle class couldn't afford to, so the tables sat empty. And the dealers who were hired to work those tables, they became a cost to cut. But this isn't just Fontainebleau, this is everywhere. Look at the numbers. Year over year, gaming revenue on the Las Vegas Strip has declined in 6 of the past 7 months. Downtown casinos posted declines in 4 of the past 6 months. Las Vegas saw a 12% decline in visitors in July compared to the year before. That's the 6th consecutive month of year-over-year declines. Hotel occupancy dropped to 66.7% in early July 2025, down nearly 17% from the same period the previous year. One anonymous casino executive put it bluntly, quote, "Volume is down here in Las Vegas. Absolutely. You're having fewer visitors, and those visitors have less wallet share, which makes for less spend in the casino. Therefore, if you have less spend in the casino, you have to adjust your operating decisions and operating expenses." End quote. Operating expenses. That's what they call the woman who's been dealing blackjack for 15 years, an operating expense. Now, if tourism is down and casinos are struggling, layoffs might make sense, painful, but logical. Businesses adjust, it happens. But here's where things get sinister, because some of these layoffs have nothing to do with tourism. Listen to how casino executives describe what's happening: optimizing, efficiency, streamlining, operational adjustments. You hear those words over and over. In every press release, on every earnings call, in every carefully crafted statement to the media, MGM's executives said something revealing during their quarterly earnings call. They said the reductions in concierge staff and call centers were, quote, the result of changing customer preferences, with roughly 80% of those exchanges taking place on a digital platform, such as the MGM app, end quote. Read that again. 80% of customer interactions are happening on an app, not with a human, with a screen. The concierge desk, where you used to ask for restaurant recommendations, there's an app for that now. The call center where you used to book your room, automated. The bell staff who used to help with your bags, some properties cut them too. This isn't about having fewer tourists, this is about needing fewer humans. MGM's chief financial officer told analysts that the number of full-time equivalents was down in Las Vegas during the first 3 months of 2025. Full-time equivalents. That's corporate speak for people, human beings with mortgages and kids and dreams. The number of people is down, and not because business is bad, because business is changing. And that brings us to the real story. What's replacing these workers isn't an economic downturn. It isn't a temporary slump. It isn't something that's going to bounce back when tourists return. It's something permanent. Industry insiders are saying it out loud now. Some properties are moving toward more automated systems, electronic table games that require fewer staff, AI-powered customer service, facial recognition instead of security guards, chatbots instead of concierges. In September 2025, the oldest casino in Las Vegas made a decision that should send a chill down the spine of every casino worker in America. Golden Gate, 119 years old, the place where Las Vegas gaming began. They eliminated all live dealer table games, all of them, gone, replaced with electronic table game, screens, machines. Owner Derek Stevens didn't hide what was happening. He said it plainly, quote, younger customers want to play slots a lot more than they used to, and people love these electronic games, and it's becoming more and more clear, end quote. The oldest casino in Vegas looked at its future and saw no room for human dealers. And across the strip, executives are watching, taking notes, running the numbers. One dealer costs money, benefits, training, breaks, mistakes, emotions. One machine costs electricity. The math isn't complicated. Golden Gate isn't the canary in the coal mine. It's the first domino. And right now, in boardrooms across Las Vegas, executives are asking themselves one question: if Golden Gate can go fully electronic, why can't we? The machines are already winning, and what's coming next is going to change everything about the way casinos operate. I want you to picture something. You're standing on the casino floor of the Venetian, one of the most iconic resorts in Las Vegas. Marble floors, gold trim, crystal chandeliers hanging overhead like frozen fireworks. But something's different. In front of you isn't a blackjack table with a dealer in a crisp vest shuffling cards. There's no roulette wheel with a croupier calling out numbers in that practiced casino cadence. Instead, there's a wall, 120 feet long, floor to ceiling, glowing, pulsing, alive with light. The largest LED screen ever installed in a Las Vegas casino. And in front of it, rows of individual terminals, dozens of them, each one a self-contained gambling station where players tap screens, place bets, and watch digital cards flip in silence. No dealer, no human interaction, no eye contact, no jokes, no small talk, just you and the machine. This is the future of gambling, and it's already here. Let me explain what's happening. For 2 decades, casinos have been quietly introducing something called electronic table games, ETGs. You've probably seen them. Those little standalone machines that let you play blackjack or roulette without sitting at an actual table. For most of that time, they were a niche product, an add-on, something for nervous beginners who didn't want to sit with experienced players, something for late nights when the tables were closed. But that's not what they are anymore. In 2025, electronic table games aren't a supplement, they're a replacement, and the numbers tell the story. Online sports gambling is now legal in 33 states and Washington, D.C. That's more than a third of the country with digital gambling literally in their pockets. Casinos exist in 46 states, and in most of those states, every mid-sized to large casino has multiple electronic table games. Some have entire sections, stadium-style gaming areas where dozens of players sit at individual screens while a single shared game plays out in front of them. The shift isn't coming. The shift already happened. Players of all ages are now comfortable gambling on screens. The younger generation grew up with phones in their hands. To them, tapping a screen to place a bet feels natural, normal, expected, and casino executives noticed. But electronic table games are just the appetizer. What's coming next makes slot machines look like pocket calculators. Let me introduce you to stadium gaming. Picture this setup. In the center of the room, there's one roulette wheel, or one craps table, or one dealer with a shoe full of cards. But surrounding that single game, arranged in a massive semicircle, are 50 individual terminals. 60, sometimes more. Each terminal has its own screen, its own chip display, its own betting interface, and every single player at every single terminal is playing the same game, watching the same wheel spin, betting on the same outcome. One dealer, 50 players. Do the math on that. A traditional blackjack table seats 6 or 7 players. A craps table needs 3 dealers to operate. Roulette tables need dedicated croupiers. Stadium gaming flips that equation upside down. One human can now run a game for 50 players simultaneously. The machine handles the bets. The machine handles the payouts. The machine handles the interface. The human just spins the wheel. And here's the part that should terrify every casino worker in America. Some stadium setups don't even need that human. Fully automated, camera on a wheel, random number generator running the outcome, no human required at any point in the process. Vegas casinos have already figured out the financial implications. Many properties have phased out $5 and $10 minimum bets at live tables. You know why? Because electronic table games can offer those low minimums without the hourly cost of a dealer. A dealer needs a salary, benefits, breaks, training, management. A machine needs electricity. One industry executive said it plainly, quote, "It is staggering when you begin to evaluate the square footage in a casino that goes unutilized within the traditional table game business on a weekly or monthly basis." End quote. Translation: live tables sit empty. They're inefficient. They cost money even when no one's playing. Electronic games don't have that problem. They're always ready, always profitable, always on. Quote, "An electronic game's ability to drive more handle per hour at a significantly reduced operating cost has CFOs and CEOs around the industry calculating numbers." End quote. Handle per hour. That's gambling industry speak for how much money flows through a game. More money, fewer humans, better margins. The calculation isn't complicated. And if you think this is limited to the budget casinos, the off-strip properties, the places that cater to locals and penny slot players, you're wrong. The Venetian, one of the most luxurious resorts on the Strip, a property that positions itself as the premium Las Vegas experience. They just unveiled a brand new electronic gaming section, and it's unlike anything Las Vegas has ever seen. That 120-foot LED wall I described, it's the centerpiece, the first of its kind in Vegas. A groundbreaking display that showcases live-drawn games you can access from your terminal. But that's not even the impressive part. The new hybrid gaming section lets players do something that was never possible before. You can play up to 2 Baccarat games and 1 blackjack game at the same time, simultaneously from a single seat. Or you can play 10 of your favorite roulette numbers across multiple wheels. 1 player, multiple games, maximum action, minimum staff. The Venetian calls it the definition of versatility. Their electronic gaming terminals give you the flexibility to play different table games, follow live trends, and watch television from the comfort of your seat. Comfort, flexibility, convenience. Notice what's missing from that list. Human connection. No dealer to chat with. No cocktail waitress remembering your drink order. No pit boss giving you a knowing nod. Just you and the screen. But machines dealing cards is only half the story. Because AI isn't just replacing the people in front of you, it's replacing the eyes watching you. Let me tell you about the new surveillance state being built inside every major casino. You walk into a casino today, you're being watched. That's not new. Casinos have had cameras since cameras existed. The eye in the sky, Thousands of lenses tracking every chip, every card, every hand movement. But there's always been a human element. Security personnel watching feeds, surveillance teams looking for suspicious behavior, trained eyes catching what cameras recorded. That's changing. AI-driven cameras can now analyze video feeds in real time, not just record, analyze. The system watches for patterns of suspicious behavior and immediately notifies security staff. No human needed to spot the problem. The machine spots it first. But it goes deeper than that. Facial recognition technology is being deployed across casino floors right now. Something called face recognition auto-enrollment. Here's how it works. You walk into a casino, a camera captures your face. The AI system automatically registers you into a dynamic database. You don't sign up, you don't consent, you just appear. The system tracks your behavior in real time. Where you go, what you play, how long you stay, how much you bet. And if you're on a list, a banned player list, a self-exclusion list, a watch list for card counters or advantage players, the system flags you instantly before you even reach the gaming floor. In South Australia, more than 230 establishments use this technology. They've detected banned players over 1,700 times after scanning 50 million faces, scanned, cataloged, analyzed. And this isn't future technology, this is happening right now. Companies are marketing facial recognition systems specifically designed for casinos, systems that identify felons, professional blackjack players, known fraudsters, self-excluded gamblers. One system promises to track persons of interest across multiple cameras as they move through the property using highly accurate facial and body recognition. Body recognition, not just your face, the way you walk, the way you move, your physical signature. Another system sends alerts when VIPs arrive. When a big player walks in, the host knows immediately, can greet them personally, can have their favorite drink ready. Sounds nice for the high rollers, but here's the flip side. Every security guard watching a bank of monitors, every surveillance officer reviewing footage, every floor supervisor keeping eyes on the room. Their jobs are being automated. AI-powered monitoring ensures that games are conducted transparently. AI-driven monitoring flags suspicious activity. AI-powered systems detect potential threats. The machines never get tired, never need bathroom breaks, never miss a detail because they were looking at the wrong screen at the wrong moment. And they work for a fraction of the cost. Casino security used to be a career, a path to management, a job with benefits and a pension. Now it's a line item being optimized out of existence. But surveillance is just one piece. Customer service is dying too. Remember the concierge desk? You'd walk up, ask about restaurants, get recommendations. Maybe the concierge would call ahead and get you a reservation. Personal service, human touch, the kind of thing that made guests feel valued. MGM just eliminated concierge desks at 5 of their Las Vegas properties. MGM Grand, Park MGM, Mandalay Bay, New York, the Signature, gone. Replaced by an app. MGM executives said the quiet part loud. 80% of customer exchanges now take place on digital platform. Chatbots handle inquiries. Virtual assistants answer questions. AI-driven systems provide instant responses about room service, amenities, local attractions, 24/7 availability. No waiting, no lines, no humans. Sounds efficient. But here's what's missing. The chatbot doesn't remember your name. The app doesn't know you've been coming to this hotel for 20 years. The virtual assistant doesn't notice that you look stressed and could use someone to just talk to for a minute. It's not service, it's processing, and it's spreading everywhere. Caesars Entertainment debuted an AI-driven customer service chatbot that helps players with queries and provides tailored suggestions based on their gaming record. The AI knows what you play, how much you bet, whether you're winning or losing, and it uses that information to make suggestions. Not suggestions designed to help you, suggestions designed to keep you playing. Voice-activated room controls powered by AI let guests manage their environment with voice commands. Adjust the temperature, order room service, control the lights. Sounds like luxury. But every voice-activated system is one less call to the front desk, one less interaction with a human employee, one less job that needs to exist. Dealers, security guards, concierge staff, customer service representative. The list keeps growing. But there's one job category you'd never expect AI to replace until you see what showed up at CES 2024. CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, the biggest tech event in the world, held every January in Las Vegas. In 2024, the show floor had the usual displays, gadgets, devices, the latest innovations from tech companies around the world. But one exhibit stopped casino workers in their tracks: a robot barista. Watch the video sometime. It's mesmerizing and terrifying. The robotic arm tips a jug of smooth, foamy milk over a latte, pouring slowly at first, then lifting and tilting the jug like a choreographed dance to paint the petals of a tulip. Latte art. That delicate skill that takes human baristas months, sometimes years to master. The robot did it perfectly, every time, without practice, without fatigue, without asking for a break. More than 100 union members from the Culinary Union showed up at CES that year, not to admire the technology, to assess the threat. They walked the show floor looking at delivery robots, robotic masseuses, autonomous barista bots, AI-powered smart grills capable of cooking without human intervention. Every machine was a preview of a job that might disappear. And this isn't theoretical. Some Las Vegas resorts already have self-check-in stations, automated valet ticket services, robot bartenders. They're called tipsy robots. That's actually the name, tipsy robot. Mechanical arms mixing drinks, serving cocktails, no bartender required. One barista at the Sahara Hotel Casino was watching these demonstrations. His name is Roman Alejo, 34 years old. He's been making lattes and pouring drinks for tourists who come to Vegas looking for that human touch. He looked at the robot barista and said something that should echo in every worker's mind. Quote, "It is very scary because tomorrow is never promised. A lot of AI is coming into this world. It is very scary and very eye-opening to see how humans can think of replacing other humans." End quote. How humans can think of replacing other humans. That's the question, isn't it? Not whether the technology exists. It does. Not whether it works. It does. The question is whether we decide to use it, whether we choose efficiency over humanity, whether we trade the magic of human connection for the cold reliability of machines. Ted Papageorge is the secretary-treasurer of the Culinary Union. He's been watching robotics and automation in the hospitality industry for years. He said the threat has always been there, but something changed. Quote, "The difference now is the combination of artificial intelligence and robotics." End quote. Robots have existed for decades. They could pour a drink, flip a burger, deal a card, but they couldn't think, couldn't adapt, couldn't handle the unexpected. AI changes that. Now the robot doesn't just pour the drink, it recognizes your face, knows your order, adjusts to your preferences, gets better every time it serves you. Now the electronic dealer doesn't just flip cards, it monitors the game, catches cheaters, adjusts the pace, never makes a mistake. Now the surveillance system doesn't just record, it predicts, identifies, intervenes. The combination of artificial intelligence and robotic. That's what's different. That's why this moment matters. That's why workers who've been pouring drinks and dealing cards and greeting guests for decades are suddenly afraid. Because they can see what's coming. The machines are already on the casino floor, already in the surveillance room, already handling customer service, and they're just getting started. But the workers aren't going down without a fight. What happened during their contract negotiations will make your blood boil. Let me take you back to October 2023. The Las Vegas Strip, neon blazing against the desert night, tourists streaming past the fountains at Bellagio, bachelor parties stumbling between clubs, the usual Vegas chaos. But something was different that night. Thousands of workers marching down Las Vegas Boulevard, Culinary Union members in matching shirts, housekeepers, cocktail servers, cooks, bellhops, the invisible army that makes Vegas run. They weren't asking for more money. They were asking for something they'd never had to ask for before: protection from machines. The Culinary Union represents 40,000 workers in Las Vegas, 40,000 people who clean the rooms, serve the drinks, prepare the food, greet the guests. For decades, their contract negotiations focused on the usual things: wages, healthcare, working conditions, retirement benefits. But in 2023, something shifted. The union's leadership had been watching the technology develop for years. The electronic table games spreading across casino floors, the self-checkout kiosks appearing in restaurants, the automated systems handling tasks that used to require human hands. Ted Papageorge, the union's secretary-treasurer, had seen enough. He told reporters that the emergence of robotics in hospitality had been on the union's radar for a long time, but something was different now. Quote, "The difference now is the combination of artificial intelligence and robotics." End quote. That combination changed everything. A robot that can only do one task is limited. It breaks down. It can't adapt. It needs constant supervision. But a robot powered by AI, that learns, that improves, that handles exceptions and edge cases and all the messy unpredictability of human interaction. That robot doesn't just threaten one job, it threatens entire job categories. The union saw the writing on the wall. And they did something unprecedented. During 8 months of contract negotiations, hospitality workers told the Associated Press something remarkable. They said they were willing to take a cut in pay while on strike to win stronger job protection against inevitable advancements in technology. Read that again. Workers were willing to make less money today to protect their jobs from robots tomorrow. That's not greed. That's not laziness. That's not entitlement. That's fear. Real, justified, existential fear about what's coming. These workers have seen the technology already at play in some resorts. Self-check-in stations where guests tap screens instead of talking to front desk staff. Automated valet ticket services where you scan a code instead of handing your keys to a human. Robot bartenders called tipsy robots mixing drinks behind plexiglass like a science experiment. They know this isn't theoretical. It's happening right now in the buildings where they work, and they decided to fight. Experts say that breakthrough in AI technology has forced labor unions to rethink how they negotiate with companies. Bill Werner is an associate professor in the hospitality department at UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. He's been studying this industry for years. He said unions now have to be, quote, much more deliberate, end quote, in their negotiations for job security. Much more deliberate. Because the old rules don't apply anymore. Used to be, you could negotiate for wages and benefits and know that the job itself would exist. The casino needed dealers, the hotel needed housekeepers, the restaurant needed servers. That was just reality. Now, nothing is guaranteed. The job you're negotiating for might not exist in 5 years, might not exist in 2 years, might be replaced by a machine before your contract even expires. So the culinary union got creative, and what they negotiated into their 2023 contract should be a model for every worker in America. Here's what they want. First, a severance package specifically tied to technology displacement. If your job is eliminated due to technology or AI, you get $2,000 for every year you worked. $2,000 per year. That means a housekeeper who's been cleaning rooms for 15 years walks away with $30,000 if a robot takes her job. It's not enough. It's never enough, but it's something. It's acknowledgement that this loss is real and deserves compensation. Second, 6 months notice before implementing new technology. 6 months. Not a memo on Friday saying don't come in Monday. Not security guards escorting you out of a mandatory meeting. 6 months to prepare, to retrain, to find something else. Third, mandatory negotiations on the implementation of new technology. The company can't just announce robots are coming. They have to sit down with the union, discuss the impact, work out how to minimize harm. Fourth, mandatory and free retraining. If AI creates new jobs, workers get first crack at them, and the training is on the company's dime. Fifth, access to mandatory free job training if there are new jobs created due to automation. The union recognized something important. Technology doesn't just destroy jobs. Sometimes it creates new ones, different ones, and workers deserve a path to those new opportunities. Sixth, if a union worker is laid off due to technology, despite all these protections, they get a bonus package based on years of service that includes 6 months of health and pension benefit, 6 months of healthcare, 6 months of retirement contributions. Even after you're gone, these protections are real, they're contractual, they're enforceable. One worker named Samantha Leone has spent 20 years in Las Vegas hospitality, hostess, cashier, server. She's done it all. When asked about AI threatening her job, she said something that captures the complexity perfectly. Quote, "It's very good if we have training. We're also here to learn new things, new technology. But when it comes to our positions, it does affect us a lot because they're going to take away our jobs." End quote. She's not anti-technology. She's not a Luddite. She's willing to adapt, willing to learn. She just wants a fair shot. Quote, "If we have the necessary tools, I say we can work with that." End quote. That's all these workers are asking for. Tools, training, time. A chance to evolve alongside the machines instead of being crushed by them. The Culinary Union proved it's possible to negotiate these protections. But here's the problem. These protections only apply to unionized workers. And guess which employees are being laid off first? Let me tell you about the Fontainebleau again. $3.7 billion mega resort. Opened December 2023. The crown jewel of the North Strip. Not unionized. When those 60 dealers got marched out by security guards in May 2025, they didn't have a union contract to fall back on. They got 2 weeks severance. That's it. Regardless of role, regardless of seniority, regardless of how long they dedicated their lives to that company. 2 weeks. Some of those dealers had been there since opening day, helped launch the property, trained their co-workers, built the gaming floor from nothing. 2 weeks. And it gets worse. Reports emerged that the casino was demoting most of its remaining table games dealers to part-time, aiming to keep just 120 dealers total. No clear criteria for who stays and who goes. Workers reported discrimination, favoritism, arbitrary decisions that seemed to have nothing to do with performance. They started talking about a class action lawsuit because when you don't have a union, what else do you have? Lawyers, courts, the hope that someone will listen. Resorts World, another non-union property, similar story. Less than 50 employees terminated, minimal severance, corporate statements about efficiency and optimization. The Venetian, same pattern, less than 50. Strategic restructuring, positive impact, the usual phrases. These workers don't have 6 months notice, don't have mandatory retraining, don't have severance packages tied to years of service. They have nothing but whatever the company decides to give them. And the companies have decided to give them almost nothing. But here's what makes this even more insidious. Thousands of workers haven't been fired at all. They've been put in a purgatory that might be even worse. Let me explain. Tourism is down in Las Vegas. We covered the numbers. 12% decline in visitors. Hotel occupancy falling. Gaming revenue dropping month after month. When business slows down, casinos don't always lay people off. Layoffs are messy. They make headlines. They trigger potential legal requirements. Instead, casinos do something quieter. They stop scheduling shifts. Think about what that means. You're still employed. Technically, on paper. Your name is in the system, but you're on call, waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for a text saying, "Come in tomorrow," and the phone doesn't ring. Days pass, weeks. You check your schedule app and it's empty, nothing, no hours, but you can't file for unemployment. You haven't been laid off. You still have a job. You can't take another job. What if they call you in? What if you're not available and they cut you loose for real? You're trapped. Hanging in limbo, watching your savings drain, wondering if you should just quit, wondering if tomorrow will be different. Workers across Las Vegas are living this nightmare right now. With visitor numbers sliding, many employees are going weeks without a single scheduled shift, even though they haven't been officially laid off. Weeks without a single shift while technically still employed. In Time Magazine's August cover story, workers and union leaders described the current situation. They didn't compare it to a bad summer. They didn't compare it to the 2008 recession. They said it was worse than any summer they had previously experienced. And then they said something even more devastating. They said it was worse than the COVID-19 pandemic. Worse than COVID. Think about that. During COVID, the casinos closed. Everyone knew where they stood. It was awful, but it was clear. You were laid off. You could file for unemployment. Government assistance kicked in. There was a path forward, even if it was painful. This is different. This is death by 1,000 cuts. No shifts today. Maybe tomorrow. Probably not. Check back next week. We'll let you know. Workers can't plan, can't budget, can't make decisions about their lives because they don't know if they're employed or not. And the companies save money on unemployment insurance, save money on severance, save money on all the costs associated with actually letting people go. The workers bear all the uncertainty, all the stress, all the financial devastation, While executives talk about operational adjustments, I want you to hear from the workers themselves, not statistics, not press releases, real people. Roman Alejo, 34 years old, barista at the Sahara Hotel Casino. He's the one who watched the robot make latte art at CES. Quote, "It is very scary because tomorrow is never promised. A lot of AI is coming into this world. It is very scary and very eye-opening to see how humans can think of replacing other humans." End quote. How humans can think of replacing other humans. That question haunts him, and it should haunt all of us. Samantha Leone, 20 years in hospitality, the one who's been a hostess, cashier, server. Quote, "Here in these casinos, the majority is very Latino." End quote. She's right. The backbone of Las Vegas hospitality is immigrant workers, people who came to this country looking for opportunity, found it in the hotels and casinos, built lives, raised families, achieved some version of the American dream, and now they're watching machines take it all away. Quote, "But when it comes to our positions, it does affect us a lot because they're going to take away our jobs." End quote. Take away our jobs, not might. Will. She sees it coming. Everyone sees it coming. Another worker put it this way, quote, "The innovations are incredible, but it is very scary that in today's world, everything seems to revolve around technology." End quote. They're not anti-progress. They're not against innovation. They're amazed by what technology can do. They're just terrified of what it means for them, for their families, for their futures. One comment stuck with me. From a Time magazine interview with Las Vegas workers. They described feeling disposable, like they don't matter, like the years they've given to these companies mean nothing when a spreadsheet says a machine is cheaper, because that's what it comes down to, a spreadsheet, a calculation, human versus machine, benefits versus electricity, training costs versus maintenance costs, and the humans keep losing. Now, let's talk about the people making these decisions. The executives. Listen to how they describe what's happening. Fontainebleau's official statement after laying off 60 dealers with security escorts. Quote, "We continue to evaluate our business needs and adjust our hiring strategy accordingly. It is a customary practice in every industry." End quote. Customary practice. That's what they call marching workers out the door. Quote, "Fontainebleau Las Vegas continues to have a positive impact in the approximate 6,250 current members it employs." End quote. Positive impact. For the people who still have jobs, what about the ones who don't? One casino executive explained the broader industry thinking. Quote, "All of this would encourage casinos to re-examine their staffing levels and make strategic cuts now in order to prevent more widespread layoffs in the future." End quote. Strategic cuts now to prevent more cuts later, as if that makes it better. As if the workers being cut now should feel grateful they're helping prevent future cuts. The language is always the same. Optimizing, streamlining, efficiency, strategic adjustments, operational improvements. Never. We fired people to make more money. Never. We replaced humans with machines because it's cheaper. Never. We prioritize shareholders over the workers who built this company. Always. Customary practice. Always. Business need. Always. Evolving guest preferences. The executives aren't struggling. Their bonuses aren't being cut. Their jobs aren't being automated. One industry insider, someone who works for one of the major casino corporations, posted anonymously about what's really happening. Quote, "VPs and executives get bonuses for cutting costs and staying under budget while raising prices to astronomical level." End quote. Bonuses for cutting costs, which means bonuses for cutting people. Every layoff, every shift eliminated, every worker pushed into on-call purgatory. Somewhere, an executive is getting a bonus for that decision. Quote, "The greedy corporation I work for even eliminated most live entertainment and leased out space to boost their profits." End quote. Eliminated entertainment, laid off workers, leased out space, all to boost profits, all to hit targets, all to trigger bonuses for the people at the top, while workers go weeks without shifts, while dealers get escorted out by security, while baristas wonder if a robot will replace them next month. That's the system. That's what workers are fighting against, not technology. Technology is just a tool. They're fighting against a system that treats them as line item, as costs to be minimized, as obstacles between executives and their bonuses. The culinary union proved that workers can win protection, can negotiate for dignity, can force companies to acknowledge that humans matter. But 40,000 unionized workers is a fraction of the Las Vegas workforce. What about everyone else? What about the dealers at Fontainebleau, the staff at Resorts World, the thousands of workers at non-union properties across the Strip? What about the workers who don't have contracts, don't have negotiating power, don't have anyone fighting for them? They're on their own, facing the machines alone. And here's what casino executives are counting on: that you won't notice what's happening until it's too late. Because what's unfolding in Vegas isn't staying in Vegas. It's coming for every hospitality worker in America. I need you to forget about Las Vegas for a minute. Forget the Strip, forget the neon, forget the fountains and the showgirls and the all-you-can-eat buffets. I want to take you somewhere else. Queens, New York. Resorts World, New York City. A massive casino complex built next to JFK Airport, one of the busiest gambling destinations on the East Coast. Walk inside. What do you see? Slot machines, thousands of them. Electronic gaming terminals everywhere you look. Stadium-style setups where dozens of players tap screens. Now look for something else. Look for a blackjack table with a dealer shuffling card. Look for a roulette wheel with a croupier calling out numbers. Look for a craps table with 3 dealers running the action. You won't find them, because they don't exist. Resorts World New York City has 0 live dealer table games, not one. The entire operation runs on electronic table games and video lottery terminals. No dealers, no croupiers, no human beings standing behind tables, just machines. Now here's the part that should keep every casino worker in America awake at night. Resorts World NYC is one of the 6 highest grossing commercial casinos in the United States outside of Nevada and Mississippi. One of the 6 most profitable casinos in the country, and it doesn't employ a single table game dealer, not one. But it gets better, or worse, depending on how you look at it. Right across the river, Yonkers, New York, MGM Empire City Casino, same story. Electronic table games, video lottery terminals, no live dealers. Also one of the 6 highest grossing commercial casinos in the country. 2 of America's most profitable casinos, both in New York, both operating without human dealers. The model works. It's not theoretical, it's not experimental, it's not a gamble. It's proven, tested, profitable beyond what anyone imagined, and every casino executive in America is taking note. Let me tell you what's happening in boardrooms right now. Somewhere in Atlantic City, an executive is looking at the numbers from Resorts World NYC, looking at the profit margin, looking at the labor costs that don't exist because there are no dealers to pay. Somewhere in Detroit, a casino operator is running projections. How many dealers could we eliminate? How many electronic terminals could we add? What would the bottom line look like? Somewhere in Mississippi, in Louisiana, in Oklahoma, in every state where casinos operate, people in suits are doing math, and the math keeps coming out the same way. Fewer humans, more machines, better profits. The contagion is spreading. But let me show you how they think about this. The actual framework casino executives use when they look at their properties. It's called revenue per square foot. Every inch of a casino floor has a value, a potential, an expected return. That blackjack table in the corner, it takes up maybe 100 square feet, seats 6 players, needs a dealer making $20 an hour plus benefits. What's the revenue per square foot on that table? On a slow Tuesday afternoon? Maybe nothing. The table sits empty. The dealer stands there. The square footage produces 0 while the costs keep accumulating. Now look at the electronic gaming terminal next to it. Takes up maybe 15 square feet. No dealer required. Runs 24 hours a day. Never takes a break. Never calls in sick. Never needs healthcare. What's the revenue per square foot on that machine? Higher. Always higher. One industry expert described it this way, quote, "Operators predict which games will be most popular among their customer base and design the floor with the goal of generating the maximum revenue per square foot." End quote. Maximum revenue per square foot. That's the metric. That's what matters. That's how decisions get made. Quote, "If a particular gaming product, whether it is a slot machine, live table game, or electronic table game, is underperforming, it will likely be replaced with something else." End quote. Replaced with something else. That's corporate speak for eliminated, removed, deleted from the floor plan. And right now, across the industry, Live table games are underperforming compared to electronic alternatives. Not because players don't like them, not because the games aren't fun, because the economics don't work. A dealer costs too much, takes up too much space, generates too little revenue per square foot. The machine wins every time. Another executive put it even more bluntly, quote, "It is staggering when you begin to evaluate the square footage in a casino that goes unutilized within the traditional table game business on a weekly or monthly basis." End quote. Staggering. That's the word he used. All that floor space, all those tables, sitting empty for hours, days, producing nothing while the overhead keeps running. Quote, "An electronic game's ability to drive more handle per hour at a significantly reduced operating cost has CFOs and CEOs around the industry calculating numbers." End quote. CFOs and CEOs calculating numbers. That's what you are now. If you deal cards for a living, if you spin roulette wheels, if you run craps tables, you're a number in a calculation, and the calculation is not going in your favor. To a casino executive, you're not a person providing a service. You're not a professional with skills. You're not a human being with a family and dreams and 20 years of experience. You're a cost per square foot, and AI is a cheaper alternative. But here's what's even more insidious. While casinos cut human workers, they're investing heavily in something else. Artificial intelligence infrastructure. The money isn't disappearing, it's being redirected. AI-driven robotic process automation is being deployed across casino operation, not just on the gaming floor, everywhere. Back office functions, accounting reconciliation, cash management, document verification, routine workflows that used to employ hundreds of people. Automated. One industry report described how AI systems now handle the reconciliation of daily cash drops with digital records, cross-verifying counts from cash machines against system logs, flagging discrepancies instantly. That used to be a job. Multiple jobs. Accounting clerks, auditors, cash room supervisor. Automated. Customer relationship management, marketing campaigns, promotional targeting, player engagement strategy, all increasingly run by AI systems that analyze behavior and trigger actions without human involvement. Real-time CRM campaigns, personalized offers delivered to your phone the moment you walk through the door, tailored suggestions based on your playing history, not designed by humans, triggered by algorithm, fraud detection, risk assessment, security monitoring. AI-powered systems that watch everything, flag anomaly, predict problems before they happen. The surveillance teams that used to review footage, shrinking. The security personnel who monitored for threats, being supplemented, then replaced. Even game production is changing. AI systems now reduce misdeal, maintain consistent dealer pacing, monitor game integrity in real time. The technology makes human dealers better, for now. But every system that monitors a dealer, that catches their mistakes, that ensures consistent performance. That system is also learning what the dealer does, how the job works, what could be automated next. The AI doesn't just help, it studies, it prepares. One analysis noted that AI reduces overheads tied to human staffing, shift management, and manual monitoring. Overheads tied to human staffing. That's you. That's your paycheck. That's your healthcare. That's your retirement fund. Overhead to be reduced, and the investment is massive. Major casino operators are pouring resources into AI infrastructure, hiring data scientists, building machine learning teams, partnering with technology companies. The same companies cutting dealers are adding AI engineers. The same companies eliminating concierge desks are building chatbot systems. The same companies reducing security staff are installing facial recognition networks. The money is there. It's just not going to workers anymore. It's going to the machines that will replace them. Now let me give you a number that should terrify you. A company called Resume Builder surveys businesses about their plans for artificial intelligence and employment. Their most recent report found something stunning. 1 in 3 companies will replace employees with AI. 1 in 3. 37% of businesses they surveyed had already replaced workers with AI in 2023, and 44% predicted layoffs in 2024 as a direct result of AI implementation. Not might, predicted, planned, budgeted for. These aren't hypotheticals, these are business strategy, approved by boards, announced to shareholders. 1 in 3 companies actively replacing humans with machines. And the hospitality industry, casinos, hotels, restaurants, they're leading the charge. Bill Werner, the UNLV professor studying this transformation, made an observation about Las Vegas specifically. He said the Strip is, quote, a good place to test these things and see how customers react to it, end quote. A good place to test. Las Vegas is the laboratory, the proving ground, the place where corporations experiment with replacing humans to see if customers notice, if customers care, if customers will accept machines instead of people. And so far, the experiment is working. Golden Gate eliminated all live dealers, still operating. Resorts World NYC never had dealers, one of the most profitable casinos in America. The customers keep coming, the revenue keeps flowing, the machines keep humming, test successful. Now scale it nationwide. But here's a cruel twist that nobody talks about. While casinos eliminate dealer jobs, people are still training to become dealers. There are schools for this, dealer academies, training programs that teach people how to shuffle cards, calculate payouts, handle chips, run games. People pay money to learn these skills, spend weeks or months in training, dream of landing a job on the Strip or at a regional casino. And the schools are starting to notice something. Enrollment is dropping. The managing director of CEG Dealer School in Las Vegas described what's happening. Quote, "We've seen our enrollment drop and people interested in becoming a dealer. We used to have a lot more people transition from out of state and come to Las Vegas for the opportunities here." End quote. People used to move across the country for these jobs, pack up their lives, relocate to Nevada, chase the dream of dealing cards in the city that invented modern gambling. That pipeline is drying up. Because word is getting out, the jobs aren't there anymore. The opportunities are shrinking. The future is machines. But here's what breaks my heart. Some people haven't gotten the message yet. Right now, somewhere in America, someone is enrolling in a dealer training program, paying tuition, buying books, practicing their shuffle at home. They're being trained for jobs that might not exist by the time they graduate. 2 years from now, maybe less. They'll have skills, professional skills, hard-earned skills, and nowhere to use them. The American dream brought workers to Las Vegas for generations. The chance to start fresh, build a career, join the middle class through honest work at casino properties that always seem to be hiring. The casinos didn't just offer jobs, they offered a ladder. Start as a dealer, work your way up to pit boss, maybe floor supervisor, maybe shift manager, a career path that didn't require a college degree, just dedication, hard work, showing up. That ladder is being dismantled, rung by rung, job by job, shift by shift. And the people who climbed it, who built their lives on it, who raised families and bought houses and sent kids to college on casino wages, they're watching it disappear. One more thing. I need to talk about who these workers actually are. Samantha Leon said it plainly, quote, "Here in these casinos, the majority is very Latino," end quote. She's right. Walk through the back of house at any major casino. The kitchens, the housekeeping departments, the service areas that tourists never see. The workforce is overwhelmingly immigrant, Hispanic, Filipino, Asian, people who came to this country with nothing and found opportunity in hospitality. They learned English on the job, figured out American workplace culture through trial and error, sent money home to families in other countries while building new lives here. The casino industry gave them a chance, and now that same industry is systematically replacing them, not with other workers, not with Americans who need jobs, with machines, with algorithm, with code. Latino service and casino workers across Nevada are watching this happen, many of them immigrants, many with limited options if their current jobs disappear. One report described it this way, quote, "Latino service and casino workers in Nevada, many of them immigrants, worry that the growing use of artificial intelligence will threaten their jobs." End quote. Worry. That's putting it mildly. They're terrified because they've already climbed so far, already sacrificed so much, already built something from nothing, and now they're watching machines take it away. The people who cleaned the rooms so tourists could sleep comfortably, who cooked the meals so visitors could eat well, who dealt the cards so gamblers could chase their dreams. They built Las Vegas. They built the hospitality industry. They did the work that nobody else wanted to do. And their reward? Replacement, optimization, a thank you note, and 2 weeks severance. This isn't just about economics. This isn't just about efficiency. This is about who we are as a society, what we value, who we protect. The technology exists to make these decisions for us, to calculate the optimal number of humans, to determine the most efficient staffing level, to replace workers automatically when the numbers say it's time. But technology doesn't have values, doesn't have morals, doesn't care about the housekeeper with 3 kids or the dealer who's been working the same table for 20 years. Technology just optimizes it. And right now, across America, in every casino and hotel and restaurant, the optimization is accelerating. What's happening in Vegas isn't staying in Vegas. It's a preview, a test run, a glimpse of what's coming for service workers everywhere. The question isn't whether the machines will spread, they will. The question is what we're going to do about it. Because here's what casino executives are counting on. They're counting on you not paying attention, not connecting the dots, not realizing that the changes happening in Las Vegas today will be happening in your city tomorrow. They're counting on workers staying isolated, fighting alone, getting picked off one property at a time. They're counting on the public not caring, accepting worse service, getting used to screens instead of smiles. They're counting on all of us just letting it happen. And so far, that's exactly what we've done. But the worst part isn't what's happening, it's what happens next. Close your eyes for a second. I want you to imagine something. It's 2028, 3 years from now. You've booked a trip to Las Vegas, maybe a bachelor party, maybe an anniversary, maybe you just need to escape reality for a weekend. Your flight lands at Harry Reid International. You grab your bag, catch a rideshare to the Strip. The driver drops you at your hotel, one of the big ones, a name you recognize, a place you've maybe stayed before. You walk through the front doors, and something feels wrong. The lobby is beautiful. Marble floors, soaring ceilings, crystal chandeliers throwing light across every surface. But it's quiet, too quiet. You approach the front desk, except there is no front desk, not the way you remember it. There's a row of kiosks, touch screens, you tap your confirmation number, scan your ID, a key card slides out of a slot. No smile, no welcome to Las Vegas, no small talk about where you're visiting from or what brings you to town. Just a machine dispensing your room key like a vending machine dispensing a candy bar. You head to the elevator, ride up to your floor, find your room. Inside, everything is voice controlled. You say the word and the lights adjust. The temperature changes. The curtains open to reveal the strip below. Convenient, efficient, seamless, and completely soulless. You decide to hit the casino floor. That's why you came, right? The action, the energy, the thrill of the tables. You take the elevator down, step onto the gaming floor, and you stop. Because the floor you remember doesn't exist anymore. Where blackjack tables used to be, there are rows of terminals, screens glowing, players tapping silently, no dealer shuffling cards, no chips clacking, no cheers when someone hits 21. Just the soft electronic hum of machines processing bets. You walk further, looking for a craps table. That energy, that chaos, players screaming at dice, high fives when someone hits a point. You find a craps setup, but it's not what you expected. One table in the center, automated dice launcher, surrounded by 50 individual terminals where players tap their bets on touch screen. No stick calls, no camaraderie, no strangers becoming friends over a hot roll. Just people, sitting in silence, staring at screens, alone together. You want a drink. Look around for a cocktail waitress. Instead, you see a kiosk. Tap your order. Scan your player's card. A few minutes later, a robot on wheels rolls up with your vodka tonic. No conversation, no flirtation, no human being asking if you're having a good night. Just a machine, delivering liquid, rolling away. This is the future they're building. Not because customers want it, not because it's better, because it's cheaper, and it's closer than you think. Let me tell you what casino technology companies are promising right now. Today, in their marketing materials and investor presentations, quote, imagine a casino where the dealer isn't human but powered by AI. These AI dealers will handle everything from chatting with players to managing the pace of the game, end quote. AI dealers that chat with you, that manage the game, that never need breaks or benefits or bathroom visit. Quote, the most exciting part? AI will learn player preferences, adapt to behaviors, and offer tailored recommendations. End quote. Learn your preferences, adapt to your behaviors. The machine will know you better than any human dealer ever could. It will remember every bet you've ever made, every win, every loss, every time you chased a bad hand, and it will use that information not to help you, to keep you playing. One technology developer described their robotic croupier this way, quote, "Playing with a robot croupier is an absolute innovation and revolution in the world of online casinos." End quote. Revolution. That's the word they use. Quote, "Imagine how many people will be attracted by the fact that instead of the dealer, there will be a robot sitting in front of them performing all the actions of the dealer with clear and beautiful movements." End quote. Clear and beautiful movements. Like it's art. Like it's progress. Like replacing humans with machines is something to celebrate. Another company built something called Roba, a robotic dealer for live casino studios. The developer explained the appeal. Quote, "This is an innovative tool that optimizes the work in a live casino studio by excluding human errors, increasing accuracy in dealing, helping operators reduce expenses on hiring staff." End quote. Excluding human errors, reducing expenses on hiring staff. That's the selling point. Not better gaming, not improved experience. Fewer humans, lower costs. Quote, "Providing an automated 24/7 gaming experience." End quote. 24/7, no shifts, no schedules, no staffing headaches. The machine never sleeps, never complains, never organizes a union. And some people in the industry think this is exciting. They see the robot dealers and the AI surveillance and the automated everything as progress, innovation, the next frontier. But there's a question nobody wants to answer. What happens to the magic? Think about what made Las Vegas special. Not the buildings. You can build buildings anywhere. Not the gambling. You can gamble on your phone from your couch. Not even the shows or the restaurants or the pools. What made Vegas special was the feeling, the energy, the electricity, the sense that anything could happen, that you were somewhere extraordinary, that the normal rules didn't apply. And that energy came from people. The dealer who noticed you were on a losing streak and cracked a joke to lighten the mood. The cocktail waitress who remembered your drink from 3 trips ago. The pit boss who comped your room because you'd been playing for 6 hours straight. The stranger at the craps table who became your best friend for 20 minutes while the dice were hot. Human connection, human spontaneity, human warmth. That's what people came to Vegas for. Not efficiency, not optimization, not seamless digital experiences. They came for the mess, the chaos, the gloriously unpredictable collision of humans and luck and money and dreams. And the casinos are systematically destroying it. I mentioned Golden Gate earlier, the oldest casino in Las Vegas, 119 years of history. In September 2025, they eliminated all live dealer table games, replaced everything with electronic terminals. On the final night of live gaming at Golden Gate, a man named Lenny Ballmer was playing blackjack. 49 years old, mechanic from Southern California. He travels to Las Vegas a lot. It's his escape, his tradition, his place. A reporter asked him about the changes coming to Golden Gate. His answer was simple. He said he's unlikely to make a return visit to Golden Gate in the future. Unlikely to return. A loyal customer. Someone who travels to Vegas regularly. Someone who specifically chose Golden Gate for the experience. Gone. Not because of prices, not because of bad service, not because of anything the casino did wrong. Because they eliminated the thing he came for. The human dealers, the table games, the experience of gambling with actual people. One customer, making one decision, choosing to never come back. Now multiply that. How many Lenny Ballmers are out there? How many regular visitors who come to Vegas for the human element? How many of them will quietly stop coming when the machines take over? The casinos are betting that it doesn't matter, that new customers will replace the old ones, that younger players raised on smartphones will prefer screens to dealers. Maybe they're right, or maybe they're making a catastrophic mistake. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine an NFL stadium, massive, 100,000 seats, built for spectacle, built for atmosphere, built for the roar of the crowd. Now imagine that stadium with only the luxury boxes occupied, the field level, empty, the upper deck, empty, the end zones, empty. Just a few thousand wealthy people in climate-controlled suites, watching the game through glass, surrounded by catered food and private bathroom. How long would those luxury box holders keep paying premium prices? Part of what they're paying for is the atmosphere, the energy, the sense of being at something important, something alive. Take away the crowd, and you take away the magic. The luxury boxes aren't special anymore. They're just expensive seats in an empty building. That's what casinos are doing. They're eliminating the regular players, the middle-class tourists, the everyday gamblers who created the energy and atmosphere that made Vegas feel like Vegas. They're chasing whales, high rollers, VIPs who bet millions, but the whales don't want to swim in an empty ocean. Part of what makes being a high roller special is the contrast, the crowds you get to skip, the lines you don't wait in, the access you have that others don't. Take away the crowds, and what's left? An empty casino floor with a bunch of machines and a few rich people wondering why this doesn't feel special anymore. The atmosphere paradox. You can't optimize your way to magic, but not everyone in the industry has lost their mind. Some people are pushing back. Bill Werner, the UNLV hospitality professor, pointed out something important. Unions have to be more deliberate now, more strategic, more focused on protecting jobs from technology, not just negotiating wages. The culinary union proved it's possible. Their contract protections for AI displacement are a model for workers everywhere. And some people in the industry still believe in the human element. One analysis put it simply, quote, "The only thing really keeping casino dealers alive is trust of customers. People want people dealing to them." End quote. Trust, that's the word. Players trust human dealers in a way they don't trust machines. When a human dealer shuffles, you can watch, see the cards move, believe in the randomness. When a machine generates a result, what are you trusting? An algorithm? Code written by someone you'll never meet? A system designed by the same company trying to take your money? The human element isn't just about warmth and connection. It's about trust, legitimacy, the feeling that the game is fair. Machines can be programmed, algorithms can be tweaked, code can be written to favor the house even more than the odds already do. Can't it? That doubt, that question, that tiny seed of suspicion, it matters. Another industry observer noted that despite AI's rising popularity, casino owners and operators are still hesitant to let go of their human staff entirely. Hesitant, not opposed, not refusing, hesitant. They know something might be lost. They're just not sure the loss matters enough to outweigh the saving. But here's the truth that casino executives are starting to realize, and it might already be too late. The same casinos cutting workers to save money are destroying the experience that brought visitors in the first place. Think about the cycle. Tourism is down, so casinos cut staff to reduce costs. But cutting staff makes the experience worse. Longer waits, less service, more machines, fewer humans. The worse experience drives more tourists away. So tourism drops further. So casinos cut more staff, and the experience gets even worse. And more tourists leave. It's a death spiral, a self-reinforcing collapse. Cut to save money. Lose customers because you cut. Cut more because you lost customers. Lose more customers because you cut more. Round and round, faster and faster, until there's nothing left to cut and no one left to visit. This isn't optimization, it's self-destruction. One commenter on a Las Vegas forum put it perfectly, quote, "Las Vegas has gotten ridiculous. It used to be reasonably priced. Now it's completely outrageously overpriced. The rich want to become richer, while everyone who keeps the rich, rich struggles." End quote. Everyone who keeps the rich, rich. That's the workers, the dealers, the housekeepers, the servers, the people who create the experience. But it's also the customers, the tourists, the middle-class families who saved up for a Vegas trip, the regular players who showed up every month. They're all struggling, being squeezed, being pushed out. And when they're gone, what's left? Empty floors, silent machines, a city that used to mean something, reduced to a glorified arcade for billionaires. Quote, "It's just like slavery. They keep making more as they call all hard workers lazy if they can't survive off scraps, and they continue raising prices." End quote. Strong words. Angry word. But can you blame them? Workers watching their jobs disappear while executives collect bonuses for cutting costs. Tourists watching prices skyrocket while service evaporate. A city that promised dreams selling nightmares instead. So where does this end? I wish I had a hopeful answer. The technology will keep advancing, that's certain. AI will get better, robots will get cheaper. The economic pressure to replace humans will only increase. The question is whether we decide to push back, whether workers organize, demand protections, refuse to be optimized out of existence without a fight, whether customers vote with their feet, choose properties that value human service, reject the sterile machine-driven experience. Whether we as a society decide that some things matter more than efficiency, that human connection has value, that workers deserve dignity even when robots can do their jobs cheaper. The casinos are betting we won't. They're betting we'll accept whatever they give us, that we'll tap our screens and drink our robot-delivered cocktails and pretend this is just as good as what we had before. They're betting we'll forget what Las Vegas used to feel like. Maybe they're right. Or maybe this is the moment we decide enough is enough. Here's my question for you. Have you noticed the changes in Vegas? Have you seen the dealers disappear, the machines multiply, the service evaporate while prices explode? Have you walked onto a casino floor and felt that something essential was missing? I want to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. Tell me what you've seen, what you've experienced, how the Vegas you knew compares to the Vegas that exists today. Because your experience matters more than any corporate earnings report. Your memories matter more than any efficiency calculation. Your voice matters more than any executive presentation to shareholders. The casinos are counting on silence, counting on acceptance, counting on us just letting this happen. Don't let them be right. And if you want to stay informed about how these industries are quietly dismantling the American worker while pretending it's progress, subscribe to Broken Foundation. We're here to tell you what's really happening before it's too late, before the machines win, before the magic dies completely. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, join the community of people who refuse to look away. Because this isn't just about Las Vegas, this is about the future of work, the future of service, the future of what it means to be human in an economy that increasingly sees us as costs to be eliminated. Las Vegas is the canary in the coal mine, and the canary is choking. One final question. Is the AI takeover inevitable? Can workers fight back and win? Can we save what made Vegas magical, what made hospitality human, what made service meaningful? Or is this just the beginning of a world where machines do everything and humans become obsolete? I don't know the answer, but I know we have to ask the question, and I know we have to fight like the answer matters, because it does. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.